Perhaps the truth depends on a walk around a lake. Human nature is like water, it takes the shape of its container. Death is the mother of beauty. Only the perishable can be beautiful, which is why we are unmoved by artificial flowers. I do not know which to prefer, the beauty of inflections or the beauty of innuendos of a blackbird a whistling, or just after reality is a click from which we escape by metaphor. Throw away the light, the definitions, and say what you see in the dark. The only emperor is the emperor of ice cream. But it is not every day that the world arranges itself into a poem. The exceeding brightness of this early sun makes me conceive how dark I have become. The final belief is to believe in a fiction, which you know to be a fiction. There being nothing else. The exquisite truth is to know that it is a fiction and that you believe in it willingly. We live in an old chaos of the sun. The imperfect is our paradise. The imperfect is our paradise. The reader became the book, and a summer night was like conscious being of the book. A poet looks at the world as a man looks at the woman. I am what is around me. The house was quiet and the world was calm. The reader became the book, and summer night was like the conscious being of the book. The house was quiet and the world was calm. The words were spoken as if there was no book except that the reader leaned above the page. Wanted much to be the scholar to whom his book is true, to whom the summer night is like a perfection of thought. The house was quiet because it had to be. The quiet was part of the meaning, a part of the mind, the access, a perfection to the page. And the world was calm, the truth in the calm world in which there is no other meaning. And calm itself is summer, and night itself is the reader leaning late and reading there. The mind can never be satisfied for the listener who listens in the snow, and nothing himself beholds, nothing that is not there, and the nothing that is. I was the world in which I walked, and what I saw or heard or felt came out but from myself, and there I found myself more truly and more strange. The way through the world is more difficult to find than the way beyond it. One must read poetry with one's nerves. The people in the world and the objects in it and the world as a whole are not absolute things, but on the contrary are the phenomena of perception. If we were all alike, if we were millions of people saying do, re me in a unison, do re me in unison, one poet would be enough. But we are not alone, and everything needs expounding all the time, because as people live and people die, each one perceiving life and death for himself, and mostly by and in himself, there develops a curiosity about the perception of others. This is what makes it possible to go on saying new things about old things. I certainly do not exist from 9 to 6 when I am to the office, and after the final no there comes a yes. After the final no there comes a yes, and on that yes the future world depends. And the presence of extraordinary actuality, consciousness takes the place of imagination. It is the unknown that excites the ardor of scholars who, in the known alone, would shrivel up with boredom. The poem must resist the intelligence almost successfully. I still feel the need of some imperishable bliss. The yellow glistens, it glistens with various yellows, citrons, oranges, and greens, flowering over the skin. Poetry is an abstraction bloodied, I know, noble accents and lucid, inescapable rhythms, but I know too that the blackbird is involved. And what I know, the children picking up our bones will never know that these were once as quick as foxes on the hill. It can never be satisfied. The mind can never be satisfied. It is necessary to any originality to have the courage to be an amateur out of this same light, out of the central mind. We make a dwelling in the evening air, in which being there together is enough. One must have a mind of winter, of a regard to frost, and the boughs of the pine trees are crusted with snow, and have been cold a long time to behold. The junipers shagged with ice, the spruces rough, and the distant glitter of the January sun, and not to think of any misery, and the sound of the wind, and the sound of the few leaves, which is the sound of the land, full of the same wind that is blowing in the same bare place. For the listener who listens in the snow, and nothing himself beholds, nothing that is not there, and nothing that is, can the roller of big cigars, the muscular one, and bid him whip at kitchen cups, cuts curds, let the wenches be a daddle, and such a dress as they are used to wear, and let the boys bring flowers in the last month's newspapers. Let be finally of seeing that only emperor is the emperor of ice cream. Take from the dresser of deal, lacking the free glass knobs, the sack that she on which she embroidered fantels once, and spread it so as to cover her face. If her horny feet protrude, they come to show how cold she is and dumb. Let the lamp affix as being the only emperor as the emperor ice cream. The divinity must live within herself, a passion of rain, or moods in the fallen snow, a grieving in loneliness, or unsubdued elations when the forest blooms, gusty emotions on wet roads, on autumn nights, all pleasures and all pains. Remember, Wren, the bows of summer and the winter beech branch. These are the measures destined for her soul. God of the imagination are one. God in the imagination are one. I am the truth, since I am part of what is real, but neither more nor less than those around me. Among 20 snowy mountains, the only moving thing was the eye of the blackbird. I was of three minds. I like a tree in which there are three blackbirds, the blackbird whirled in the autumn winds. It was a small part of the pantomime. A man and a woman are one, a man and a woman and a blackbird are one. I do not know which to prefer, the beauty of infections or the beauty of the blackbird whistling, or just after. I'm the forever poetry rapper forever. Icicles filled the long window with barbaric grass. The shadow of the blackbird crossed it to and fro. The mood traced in the shadow of indecipherable cause. Spitting what about spitting all. I know noble accents and lucid, inescapable rhythms, but I know too that the blackbird is involved. And what I know will verify go. I am convinced I am Wallace Stevens forever and ever.